make sure that you sign in. I want to go ahead and get the meeting started because it's very exciting. It was exciting to me yesterday, wasn't it, Ms. Paxton? Yes, ma'am. Mr. Murphy, Mr. Harper? Yes. Wasn't it exciting to me yesterday?
Yes, very excited about it. Yes, yes.
And you all might be wondering why they know I was excited about this. Well, the reason why is because Mr. Ngoma presented this during the CPE meeting yesterday. And he was not able to go through all of it, but what I was able to capture from what he was saying, it excited me. And you all know that I try not to waste time, so I want to make sure that you all have professional development infused into these meetings that's actually going to help you, things that are going to be able to help you now in the classroom. Okay, so that's the purpose of this. I am going to turn this over to Mr. Ngoma. He is going to share with you what this particular, what CDL is, what it's all about, and how you're able to actually put it to use in your classroom. So I'm going to turn over to Mr. Ngoma.
Okay. Good afternoon again. I attended the workshop on the 7th on challenge-based learning, and Ms. Adams wanted me to share it with my department, and Ms. Whitley only presented the topic to my department yesterday, and she thought that it would be a good idea to share everything with you. I have a PowerPoint which is on the public drive. You can access it. So while I'm going over the PowerPoint, you can access it. But we are also going to have a couple of activities. But the first thing I'd like to do is this. I'd like to get to know each one here. Make sure you always give the students a protocol, a way to introduce themselves.
Attention,
so
parent involvement
this is the format
committee
we're going to use.
is going to be taking place in D12 by Ms. First Sergeant Jeter.
Okay. Can we start? Let's make this really, really quick. Yes, Coach Harper.
My name is Kevin Harper. I teach 5 days, 1 and 2.
And you would describe your class or classes as?
A lot of games.
A lot of, okay, yes.
My name is Thomas Murphy. I teach business and multimedia marketing. I would like my classes to be fun.
Great.
I'm Bill Gamola. I teach health and PE. And I would describe my classes as big.
Good.
I'm Cynthia Bennett. I teach urban, environmental, and oceanography, and I would describe my classes as applicable to life.
Good.
Hi, my name is Amber Cesario. I teach English 1, and I'm not sure how to do this answer, so I would describe them as thought-provoking.
Good.
Being younger, I teach ESL, and I describe my class as better.
I'm Jamie Chan. I teach U.S. history and civics. I would describe my classes as
Hola, and I wasn't going to start my class first, so I'm going to change it and say mine open.
Whoa.
I'm Miranda Dash. I teach Algebra 1, and I would describe my classes as energetic.
Hi, I'm Lisa Nolan, and I teach biology, and I would describe my classes as dynamic.
Hi, I'm Ms. Simmons. I teach biology. I would describe my class as enthusiastic.
Right.
Jerome, I teach biology, and I would describe my classes as challenging.
I'm Mr. Hendrick, I teach geometry and statistics, and I would describe my classes as important.
I'm Josh Coleman, I teach English too, and I describe my classes as improvement.
Hi, I'm Mary Heston. I teach Principles of Business and Finance, and I would describe my classes as data-driven.
Oh, excellent.
I'm Jennifer Bailey. I teach English 3 and 4, and I'd also describe my classes as energetic.
I'm Fabian Nino. I teach English too as well. I would describe my classes as average volume.
My name is Richard Stevens, and I teach IB Bio 2 and 3, and I would describe my classes as evolving.
Good.
Thomas Anderson, English 4 New Book, and my classes are full of opinions.
I'm Mr. Hurst. I have 3 classes. I would describe 2 of them as very advanced, and one as challenging.
Yes.
I'm Marlena Daza, and I teach French. I would describe my classes as challenging.
Hi, my name is Solomon. I teach Algebra 1, and I would describe my classes as challenging.
My name is Weldon Harris. I teach biology, and I would describe my students or my classes as challenging.
My name is Alyssa Monda, and I teach biology. I'm going to steal the word diverse from over there.
Diverse. Good, good. I heard the word challenging quite a few times, and I know students find also what we teach challenging. This is a quote I always use to motivate my students. The best angle from which to approach any problem is the try angle. They want to try. Try. So we're going to try to explore a couple of applications here. Pop photo pitch is one, and another one is, well, I just pull up a couple of applications that I will share with you. Let's go with the PowerPoint. Those of you who have the PowerPoint. Okay. What is challenge-based learning? I'm going to try my best not to keep you here forever. So, what's challenge-based learning? I want you to look at the definition you have there and think of a key word that describes challenge-based learning. I'm going to give you 1 minute, and I'm going to time it. Look at the definition that you have on the PowerPoint.
Can we start the definition?
What is this under?
Okay. Good. Oh, that's online stopwatch. And you select the bomb watch. Yes. Okay. So, folks, what are the keywords that you thought about there? Yes. Collaborative. Collaborative. Good. Well. Take action. Take action. Yes. Actionable. Where? Yes. Real problems. Real problems. Yes.
Worldwide audience.
Worldwide audience. So we're creating solutions for an audience that's global. Global audience. Yes. Where?
Reflect.
Reflect. Which means that we can the students to reflect on the experience. So they create a solution and then they reflect on the solution, how they got to that solution. Any other word? Okay. So the challenges here, let's explore them. Click on this link here, Answer Garden. How many of you use this? Answer Garden. Okay, this is a great resource you can use. It allows you to see what other teachers have been looking at. You see, I tapped the word teaching, and I wanted to see some of the challenges that teachers face. And that's what came out. Now look at this. How many of these challenges do you encounter in your classes? And you can type any word there, so go ahead and type any word. Just look at the website. It's an answer, garden, You can type any word here and look at this. So this is one way you can get your students to explore topics or challenges that they can work on.
Can you talk to them about how, when they put that word in to do the search and what they're going to be able to do with that? How it might come
Folks, as you can see here, these words can be interrelated. So, for example, you see challenge, and challenge, for example, with the teen issues go together. Okay, so one of the challenges that students can face is teen issues, for example. So try to identify words that go together there. Different challenges there. Can you do that?
If I may interject, let me give you an example of how you're able to use it. Okay. So say, for instance, in a particular day, you have one word, and that one word, and something that you could use, we have SAT words of the day, okay? You can have the students practice using their SAT words by putting one of those words in that search bar right there, and then those words that come out of there, you can have them select one of the words that they want to use, and it could be a day book entry for the day, it could be used as a warm-up, but it's combined with literacy, and that's one of our goals this year. So that's a perfect way to use the SAT word.
And here is another way to use that.
Pragmatic.
Okay, here is another way to use it. You can, excuse me, let me have your attention. You can have students brainstorm using Wordle or Tuxedo, and this is, I typed some of the challenges that I thought students face or teachers face. Look. You have these challenges here. Lack of resources, cheating, integrity, and so on. All those words are words that relate to challenges that we all face as teachers.
Can we go back to answer garden just 1 second?
Oh, sure.
Let's put in one of the SAT words for today. You said pragmatic?
Okay.
Pragmatic? So when you type in pragmatic, this is what you get.
Okay, look at that.
Teen issues, bullying, technology, social media, money. I would get the students to try to figure out how that word is related to this, and I would have them select one of the words here, and that could be the focal point of a warm-up or some sort of daybook entry.
And here is another resource you can use. Look at this. It's called VC Words. I'm going to type the same word here, pragmatic. And look at what you have. You have all the words that relate to pragmatic. And look, if you go here, it shows you the definition of each part.
VC Words?
VC Words, and you can move, you see? You can move this around, and the kids love this. First, it's a visual, and so it's a VC word, VCWords.com.
Do you build your own from scratch, or does it come like preloaded with words?
No. As soon as you type the word, it gives you the layout, and you can play with the layout.
Okay.
Now, here is another one. This one is called Tuxedo.
Say that one more time.
Tuxedo. Just a second, let me pull it up. Okay. This one is tuxedo. I took the same words and pasted the words here, and I can change the shapes. Look, if I click on shapes, I can select any shape here, and the words will follow the shape of the design. That's tuxedo, and students love this. This is for concept exploration, but so it's tuxedo, and how you use it. So this is where you find the shapes, and you go to load to type the words. Click on load, and the words are there. So I saved all my words on a Word document because with Word, it's hard to do. So I saved the words and pasted all the words here.
So I have a question. Can you save this and then print it out on a poster?
Yes, you can save is here. You can save as a web document, as a print document, as an image. One way I also save this is to do a screen capture with a control print screen. I can copy it like that and paste it on Photoshop or Word or, you know, anything you want. So screen capture is one way to do that. Okay, so that was, and you notice that all the resources are there. Folks, we are bombarded almost every day with the word, with the first century skills. We are asked to use first century skills and so on. What are those first century skills? I know you have the list somewhere, but these are the list. These are the words that we were given. So you have creativity, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving, flexibility, adaptability, cross-cultural skills, self-direction, productivity, information, media, and technology. Now here is my question to you. Which of these skills do you think is the most important?
They're all important.
Which one on a scale of 1 to 5? Which one gets 5? Which one gets 4? Which one gets 3?
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking. Why?
Because I think all of them in some ways are connected to thinking critically. I think if you can think critically, you can problem solve. You're more likely to be flexible and adaptable. I think you're self-directed and more productive if you can critically think. I think your communication will be better. You're definitely going to be more creative because your mind works.
Now, how do you teach critical thinking?
To be flexible and adaptable. So that you will learn and be able to be open to collaboration.
Good. And adaptability. Make sure students can adapt to challenges. And that's the only way they can also solve those different challenges. You can use Edmodo with what we just did there. You can use Edmodo and use the poll. I don't know if everybody uses Edmodo here? Edmodo? If you don't have an Edmodo account, please make sure you have one. Or you can use Schoology.com. It's a good way to do that, to just go to the polls. You go to the polls, you can have all the skills there, or if you have a question, have your question there, and poll students. Another website to use is Polls Everywhere. A very good website to use. Okay, now, one activity we're going to do very, very quickly. Okay, I want you, in groups of 5, discuss some of the challenges that you are currently facing. Specifically, what is happening and why are you facing those challenges? So I want you to come up here. Notice with the words I gave you, you have 2 colors. One way to get your students together is to use group colors. Anybody uses that? 2 colors? Notice that it's there. Check the handout I gave you.
I was going to ask you.
Yes.
I've done 2 colors with my students, but I've never put them in groups based on their colors because the oranges make me nervous. I'm afraid they're going to I don't know.
Now here is another way. This is another way I do it. Okay, let's go here. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you got 1, 2, 2, 3.
1.
No. Let's go up to 5. Up to 5.
4.
1, 2, 3.
4. 5. 3.
4.
5. 1, 2.
3. 4. 5.
1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I want here all the 1s, all the 2s, all the 3s, the 4s, the 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
C'est ça, là, le handout.
Oh, ça s'ouvre quelque part là. Ah, c'est ça qui s'ouvre fini là.
Il y en a plus?
Il y en a plus. Oh, ça s'ouvre là, sur cette table là. Oh, here is a strategy that we use. Excuse me. So instead of everyone speaking at the same time, you're going to use this, talking stick. So you only speak when you place your stick on the table, and only one person can speak at a time. So when you're done, then the other person speaks. Talk about the challenges you face and the solutions. Okay. So first we talk about the problem, then we're going to talk about the solution. Okay, so let me time it. And again, folks, if you're not using this yet, the stopwatch, this is a great tool to use. You can always go down and look. You have you can use different types of clocks here or watches. If you scroll down, you have all this here. So I use, the one I'm using right now is the bomb countdown. Okay, so let me click there. Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 minutes. No, 5. Each person speaks for 1 minute and talk about the challenges. Then, after you finish, we're going to talk about the solutions. Okay, go.
Yeah, there you go. What are your
my students, most worried about it is not knowing who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. I have more students than computers working in CT, and because of that, it changes daily. I have students working there for the last 3 days now, and everybody knows. So that is a major challenge for me. We might well try to be creative. We heard my try to create so many environments.
Wow.
Seconds left. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Here is a good way to use music. You use music when students are discussing, and then you end the music when they stop discussing, and they know when the music ends, they must stop talking. So now, to leave all this, to put all the sticks on the desk. Now you are going to, the first person who picks up the stick will talk about the solution, and then you keep going until you take all the sticks back. So now let's go ahead for 5 minutes, talk about the solutions. You identified the problems. Now what have you tried so far? How are you trying to solve the problem? Here we go.
So they did the same place and I did. So that's what
No more talking. Thank you. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how did you do as a group?
Yeah, 10 all day. Yeah.
And the highest 1 to 10. And it's very important to always check with students when they're working in teams, check with them how they're doing. So always very important. So now, let me move on. I'm going to show you an example of a CBL, challenge-based learning. That this is a product that teachers created. So they were given a challenge. They were given 5 pictures, and they had to tell a story around the pictures. So here is one. The program they used here is a photo pitch, and I want you to be able to use the program. And we're going to try to use it here. So here's the story.
My wild desire.
So these are the pictures they were given. One of the pictures. And they had to come up with a fictional story about the picture. So photo pitch allows you to add music and text like that. And this is very, very short. The website is photopitch.com. So photopitch.com. Okay. So that's one. How do you like that one? So here is another one. Adventure. And you can see here the same idea. Each team has its own interpretation of the idea. Okay.
So it's an interpretation of each person being able to interpret information in their own way, kind of? Is that what that was?
No, this was an activity where they gave them 5 pictures, and the 5 people in the group, so 5 teachers in the group had to come up with a story. So you come up with a story, you tell a story around the pictures, and the story is fictional. So this group can have one story, you have another story, and they have another story, but we have the same pictures. So we're working with the same pictures. But for your classes, you can come up with your own projects. Instead of giving them the exact same pictures, they can have different pictures. And actually, challenge-based learning is about students creating their own challenge or challenges. So you don't give them the challenge. They create their challenge. I asked my students to create a challenge here. They came up with the food. The food they have here in the cafeteria. They're saying that the food is not good enough. So that's one of the challenge, for example. We suggested bullying, which is one of the challenges that our group worked on. This is what you expect students to do in a CBL assignment. So one, they work in collaborative groups. They use technology to tackle real-world issues. They tackle those issues using a multidisciplinary approach, and they implement the solution with authentic audiences. You have the PowerPoint, so I'm going to go a little faster with this. You have the framework there for 21st century skills. These are the skills. So this encapsulates all the skills that we talked about. You have life and career skills, learning and innovation skills. The 4 C's, you have information, media, and technology. And of course, if you incorporate common core standards here, that's what they expect us to be able to do as teachers. Okay, CBL process, and this is very, very important. Please check, look at the handout I gave you. This one here, this page, this. So you have the big idea. First thing, what's the big idea? Then what's the essential question? What's the challenge? Then you need guiding questions. Okay, guiding questions. It's right here. Let me see if I can get there. Okay. Guiding activities, guiding resources. You need a solution. You need to come up with a solution which must be action-based. For example, First Sergeant Jeter came up with 2 projects, one on conflict resolution. She asked students to come up with a solution. You know, if your challenge is conflict resolution at home, how do you solve the problem? So they created a whole video about conflict resolution. The other one was on sexual harassment. They came up with a project that we played on WRM this morning. If you watched the show, you saw the video at the end. So that was their project. So what's the teacher's role? Well, when you're doing this, when you're using CBL in your class, you are the project manager. It's not your project, it's the student's project. You are mentoring students. You're guiding what students are doing. You're facilitating the process. These are some of the people who attended the workshop. And you can see there best practices. You make sure that you connect standard-based subject matter to 21st century content and skills. You should actively guide the process through decision-making and so on and so on. Okay, let students determine the challenge. This is the way I try to summarize it. Okay, and this is what I talked about. You have CBL, challenge-based learning, and everything around it. Big idea, essential question, and so on. And here is the other key thing. You make sure you publish student work. And also make sure you publish students' reflection. Okay, what they did and how they came up with it. So it's not enough to create a video, for example, but they can reflect on the process. And this is how they can create the product. First, they propose a challenge to you. You make sure that you approve, and then you check their guiding questions, make sure they have the right guiding activities, and so on. Then the reflection video. Okay, and here is an example of the big idea. Make sure it's non-Googleable. They can't just go online, boom, type it, and there it is. Then it's not a challenge anymore. So make sure they can come up with their own challenge, and Answer Garden is one of the resources that you can use. You make sure that it's important on a global scale, and it should not be too narrow, it should not be too broad. These are examples: climate change and its effect on the planet, public health, and I think you can already start thinking about challenges for your own classes. Okay, essential questions. I also suggested some essential questions that I found online from one of the resources that I included on the PowerPoint. Sustainability, for example, what's the impact of my water consumption on my community? Okay, public health, how does my personal access to healthcare affect global disease, pandemics, and so on? So these are the questions. You also have guiding activities. I talked about this. You make sure that the challenge is immediate and actionable, not too broad, not too narrow. And while we're doing this, start thinking about the challenge that you're going to work on. Before we end, that's going to be the activity, and you're going to use photo pitch to create your product. So start thinking as a team. Okay, what are the guiding questions? Look at examples of guiding questions. And guiding activities. Okay, so you have a photo story here, a storyboard, which allows you to plan what you're doing. You can find this online, and students can use this to plan their project. Folks, this is very, very important. Oftentimes, we just tell students what to do. With this, students come up with a product that's related to what you're doing, and they suggest solutions. So, the activity I have for you, we're going to log on Discovery Ed, but before we go, I want you to identify your project first, and then I'll show you Discovery Ed, a couple of resources. Then we're going to use Photo Story. I know we have to go. Okay, so that's a photo story, photo pitch, sorry. Photo pitch, this is the program we're going to use. So right now, this is what I want you to do. Think about a challenge. As a team, think about a challenge that students can also work on. And think about the solution. Think about the guiding questions, and so on. So use the paper you have here, and you have 5 minutes to plan it. And then when we go to our computers, we're going to use Photo Pitch and the Discovery Ed. That's how we're going to end. And let me time it.
Well, we get to come up with a list I'm thinking about what we talked about. Students, class size,
Okay, Good. Notice the clock I used this time. So you see with the stopwatch you can use different options. This one is an egg watch or egg clock. Okay, so now let me end with this, and then we're going to use Discovery Education resources. If you're not using Edmodo yet, please go ahead and use it, and make sure you use Mozilla Firefox instead of using Explorer. It will work much faster with Mozilla Firefox. Discovery Education, does everybody have an account? Yes. Okay, so if you don't have an account, save your videos, save the videos to My Content, which can be used as a folder. So you have your own folder, and all the resources go here. You can also save your resources to students, so assign them to students. As soon as students log on, they will see the videos that you save for them. And as you know, Discovery Education has plenty of videos that you can use in your classes. Here is another resource I found, Guru. This is a free learning search engine. It's only for students, which is really, really good. You can find a lot here. So we're going to use PhotoPitch, and let's go ahead and log on our computers and use just a couple of applications, and I'm going to see if we can practice using PhotoPitch, and then we'll be out of here. Keep this worksheet here, making sense of it all. So go to Discovery Education, everyone. Log on, go to Discovery Education. And I want you to, if you don't know your login, let me put it here. Folks, look at this. You make sure you know that as a teacher you log in as your username, your user ID is first name. Use Firefox, please. Use Firefox. And also open another tab, PhotoPitch. PhotoPitch for your students. You see, students use their student ID. This has a lot of resources. One activity, for example, I did yesterday. I had my students explore world biomes using Discovery Education. And then they had to create a product about a particular world biome. So you can find careers, you can find all kinds of things. So you go to Discovery Education. You have that on the PowerPoint I gave you. Oh, cool. But, yes. The Discovery Education, and I'm going to show you just one video. Folks, look at this. This is how you explore your videos. Once you log in, look, for example, I type a video game, and this is what I had my students use last class, which was Tuesday. Look, they found different videos here, and I asked each one to select a video. For example, this one, video game addiction. Now, look at the worksheet you have here. They had to reflect on these questions that I adapted. They had, this is where you incorporate your Common Core standard. List 5 words from the video, or 5 points. I tell them to list 5 points. Write the main idea of the video. What are 2 supporting details for your main idea? And if you could write the description for this video, how would you interest someone to watch it? I also have them here write an argumentative essay with just 3 paragraphs with this. So you can adapt it. I adapted this. And this is what you do, folks. Once you find a video, please do this. Look, you click on this and assign it to My Content. Did everybody see this? Look, assign to my content, or you can assign it to students. If you assign it to students, as soon as they log on, they see the video. Okay? And if it's on my content, you will be able to see it. You can also go to Quick List. You see Quick List here. You can save a number of videos, and then you can organize them at the end. Photo Pitch, go to photopitch.com. And this is a very, very easy to use photopitch.com. Should I? Miss Whitney, should I let them work on the challenge or you can?
Do they do the challenge? Show what they have.
Did you log in? Yeah. You didn't.
Okay, so folks, now I want you to take 1 minute. Save at least 2 videos to my content that you're going to use tomorrow. And you see where you can create your classes. Photo Pitch. That's a photopitch.com. And you just go to sign up. Photo Pitch is a very, very simple thing. Oh no, it's a different website. It's a photopitch.com. Okay? And once you create it, then you can find pictures on Google and tell your story with a voiceover. So you're going to tell a story with a voiceover. No, just use the basic.
So once we log in, what you do?
Oh, did you log in? Yeah, just go type videos here. Actually, you can find a whole bunch of resources. You have webinars, you have oh, folks, this my DE services. That's where you can connect with the other teachers. As you know, you should not work in isolation. If you go to my DE, that's Discovery Education Network. Use the other website. Yeah, p21.org. You can find even examples of featured projects. You're not able to. Okay, so now you have your videos. Can I see if you found videos? You can save them to my content. Can I see what you have so far? It's gonna add all the your videos to my content, but you have a different. You see, Discovery Education has different things here. A lot of resources that you can use. Where do I have my Discovery Education? Okay, folks, now let's end it here. Let's end it with this part here. I want you, let me see your hand if you are able to add videos to my document. Great. Okay, good. Remember, you can also use Quick List, and you have featured videos here. You also have lesson plans, folks. You can find lesson plans on P21 and lesson plans on my Discovery Education. that you can use. You can adapt them to our format. Okay. So now, let me have your attention, please, everyone. I want you to get back to your group and create a product for your challenge. Make sure you have your big idea, the essential idea, and everything. Create a photo pitch, and that's where we're going to end today. So you can use one computer. So find one person in your group who's on a computer, and all of you just go around that person, sit there, work with that person, and have that person create a product in a photo pitch. Let me print out the access code. Yes. Okay, folks, if you have your product ready, we have one group is already here. Another group, do we have another group? Yeah. Can we wait a little bit until we see the other group? How much more time do we
That's funny. You said you different of you.
And then if you don't like how it was, if you don't like how it looks, so I didn't like how it looked white.
Okay, folks, we have a couple of others here. Excuse me, I want you to come and tell you what we have here. We have two rooms here. Okay, folks. Thank you very much for coming. Oh, we have one more.
One more.
One more. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have your attention.
I just want to mention a couple of things. This was very enlightening for me as I coach teachers and talk to them about some of the things that they might be able to do to engage students in the classroom. And so I hope that you're able to get something from them that you're going to be able to use and talk to you about differentiation, how important that is. And the one last thing I want to say to you is this. I appreciate Mr. Magoma doing this PD. I was going to do something different today, but I saw a little bit of this, and I thought that would be really neat and something that, you know, would immediately be of value for you and your students. And let us please thank Mr. Magoma.
Thank you very much for coming. Feel free to email me if you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Magoma.
You're very welcome.
Tomorrow. I love that.
I don't know for how long, but